Hello and welcome back to TGTV, and more specifically, welcome back to a very interesting video actually. You may well remember that I bought a 1966 Porsche. In this video we discuss exactly how much that's going to cost me and how stupid I've really been taking on this project. Anyway, before we get into all of that, I just want to announce the Vincero watches are now 5 years old. It's 5 years old, their 5th birthday, and with that they're launching their biggest ever sale. So if you want to pick one up, now is the time. It is literally their biggest sale ever, and they've also just released a new line here, which I've got on my wrist. This is called the Altitude. It's their Pilot's line of watches. They've actually got some other finishes as well. This is obviously the white dial on a stainless steel case, but they've also got a very nice matte black model with a green dial over on their site with this kind of aged natural leather strap as well. Really, really cool, and it's a new line they've got. So at the moment, there's a huge sale on their biggest ever, and they've got a new model in their lineup. There's never been a better time to go and check them out. So if you haven't checked them out yet, I know I've mentioned Vincero many, many times on this channel, but if you haven't checked them out yet, go and check them out. They are very affordable, and to them, luxury isn't defined by price, it is defined by attention to detail and craftsmanship. So go and check them out anyway. I'll leave the links below. There'll be a very specific TG exclusive for all of you lot to go and check them out. I've been working with them a long, long time. 5 years old. Cool time to be part of the whole Vincero family. Go and have a look. Anyway, without further ado then, shall we go and see how stupid I've been, how much money my 912 is going to cost me, and yeah, how much of a big project this is going to be, because I'll be honest with you, it did actually take me by surprise. So then, without further procrastination, let's get on with the video. Hello and welcome back to TGTV, and more specifically welcome back to a motorway service station. Actually, I am on the M4 because I am out, ladies and gentlemen, in my Porsche 912, or is it Porsche 912? Who knows at this point. My 1966 Porsche anyway. I have just been to Revival Cars, as you would have seen in the preceding B-roll, because I've taken it for a little checkup, and the results are in. I have the car back, and they've been very busy over there. So there's lots of findings to get through, unsurprisingly. There's probably slightly more than I thought there might be, and it's not going to be a cheap journey. However, Max there has worked an absolute dream on the car. He's done some bits to it, so I'm gonna jump back in it. Let's come over here. Let's go and find it, let's go and find it. I'm actually just putting some fuel in it. Not right now, obviously, I'm filming a video. It's just so cool. I absolutely love it. So yeah, it's back being slightly more roadworthy now, but there was a lot of things that this car could benefit from. So I'm gonna jump back in the car, I'm gonna have a little chat, I'm gonna run through the itemized bill list basically of what I've just paid to have done to the car, and down the line what it's going to need, because this car will be going back. It is going to be a project, and there's going to be lots going on with it. So without further ado then, let's jump back in. Right, we're in. We are in. Oh, where's the seatbelt? Goodness me. I'm still getting used to the fact that this car is, I was going to say, double my age. Safety first. Well, sort of safety, I guess. I mean, it's the thought that counts. I'm wearing a seatbelt. Okay, right. We're going to start this little sod up. He says there's a complex way of starting this up. You've got to prime the fuel, turn it on, you've got a little starter motor.
Oh God, what have I done? Okay, so that was starting on nice and smooth, didn't take long at all. I got the job sheet here with me, all of the stuff. This is too loud, isn't it? I mean, we're gonna have to close that maybe a little bit. possibly? No. Oh God. Maybe this as well. Oh, right, we've got the job sheet here. We'll go through that in a minute. Firstly, though, I think. No. Just gonna put the window up a little bit. Don't mind me, just doing classic car stuff. All right, everyone. I think that's okay. Oh! And we're off. Have I paid for my fuel? Yeah, I have. Right then. What has happened to this car? How bad was it? Because, as you may have seen in my previous video, me buying this car, collecting it, I pretty much bought this car blind. I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to cars like this. That may not surprise you. That may not surprise you whatsoever. I have absolutely no clue what I'm doing buying cars like this. Something's still open. I mean, I can't for the life of me tell you what it is. So first of all then, how am I finding living with a car like this? It's a culture change. I'm used to getting in and things kind of working and not being ripped or covered in rust. But yeah, do you know what? I have had a smile on my face for quite a lot of ownership of this car already. A large percentage of my time with this car I have spent smiling. Let's find another gear. I mean, I don't for the life of me know what gear that is, but we're in anyway. So one thing I should probably explain at this point, A, it's left-hand drive, which for those outside of the UK, you'll be thinking that's absolutely fine. I live in the UK, our cars are right-hand drive. This is a left-hand drive. Being originally an Italian car, I've probably bored you all with that in the preceding video. This is left-hand drive. It is also what's called a dogleg gearbox. So it is 5-speed, I believe, but also where first gear usually is, it's now where second gear, I would think, would be. Reverse is where first is. Basically everything's just upside down, back to front, and it's just mayhem. Couple that with the fact that I'm on the left-hand side of the car, I'm changing gear with the wrong hand as far as I'm concerned. And the gearbox is 53 years old. It's taken some getting used to. I'll be honest with you, when I first got in this car, the first drive, I didn't film collection of it because it was just too stressful. I was driving down the motorway in peeing rain and I didn't know where the wipers were. I mean, I'm so pleased I didn't film any of that. I was not in a good way. I was absolutely flapping. And as I say, I bought it blind. The guy that I bought it from, he had looked after it. He kind of knew what he was doing. But as always with these things, there are many surprises. And those surprises I've now just found out about. So, on the whole, it's actually good news. It's not completely screwed. It doesn't need a new engine, although it nearly did. Via luck, I managed to get it to Revival Cars in one piece. Oh God, this is, we've got brakes, we've got lane changing, we've got all sorts going on. As was the norm with cars of this age, there is one wing mirror. So I've got one on the driver's side, and I do not have one over there, which makes a very interesting lane maneuvers. However, I would say visibility is quite good. You can see everything out of all of the windows and everything. And also, it's a very small car as well. So, oh my God, I nearly just had a shunt. I forgot the brakes aren't quite as sharp as that of the Pistas. So on the whole, then, it's good news. It was I was going to say it's a clean bill of health. It was not a clean bill of health. I have had to just spend £680 on this thing. And we got the job sheet here. I'm not going to read it whilst driving along actually, because you're going to tell me off about being an unsafe motorist. Goodness me, there's crumbs all over there. I've just been stuck in my face. So I've just had to spend 680 quid on it. And that was basically just to get the thing to not be unreliable, or that unreliable anyway. Slightly more road safe, shall we say. Just get the bare essentials done so I can drive it around and it's not going to disintegrate, it's not going to break down, and I'm not going to need to buy shares in the AA. Bear with me, I'm just finding whatever gear it is that I've just found. Sorry. One thing I would say with this car though, reactions from other motorists are great. Everyone seems to enjoy it. Everyone lets you out. You get a nod from people. It's really, really cool. You contrast that with driving around in an SV or a satin blue Pista that looks like it's been through IKEA backwards. People don't really like you. People tend to like you in this. I'm getting kind of smiles from people, especially the older generation. They seem to think, well, they seem to be quite friendly, which is lovely. Something I'm not used to driving around in brash supercars. Very, very nice indeed. I'm going to give you some driving impressions anyway whilst I'm here before we get into what's been done and what actually more importantly needs doing and how much that's going to be, because that bill, I didn't expect it to be that much. Anywho, driving impressions then, performance wise, I'd love to tell you that it was quick. It's not quick at all. I believe it's probably about 90 brake horsepower. Well, that's what it was when it came out of the factory. It is now probably not that. It is not quick. It is not nippy. But it does have a certain little kind of zing to it. It's good. It's enjoyable. I was really getting to the swing of things, driving this thing back actually towards the end of the journey. Things dried up. I was doing a little bit of rev matching. Flames were apparently coming out the back as well. I was just hooning it basically. Really, really good. Had I known then what I now know about the state of the car, I probably wouldn't have been hooning it. However, everything survived and we are all good. The steering is very, very heavy. It's got actually quite a nice weight to it. You wrestle it a bit. You feel as though you're really kind of forcing it into situations. Obviously, there's no power steering, and you are just directly connected to the wheels with however these things work. I don't know anything about engineering or how cars work or anything about steering. However, it's quite nice. Coming from kind of a modern car where everything's been done for you, there's obviously no ABS either. You stamp on the pedal and it's just, you know, guesswork from there on in. Am I then disappointed that I took this to a dealer? Am I then disappointed that I took this to a garage and they basically told me that I need to spend a lot of money on it to make it actually okay? No, not at all. I bought this thing knowing that it was going to cost me a lot of money. I knew that I was going to have to pour cash into this thing and it would possibly ruin my life. So I went in with, I was going to say eyes open. I didn't even look under the car before I bought it. I just bought it because it was Irish green and matching paint and matching numbers and all the rest of it. I was just blinded by the fact that basically it was green. So I did go in knowing that there would be some money needing spending on it. I wasn't that foolish. And I'm quite excited actually to share the journey with you all of this car. Once it's in slightly more roadworthy state, I do plan to take it possibly around Europe. At the very least, I want to take it to the Porsche Museum and do all sorts of stuff with it. In its current state, I don't know whether I'd want to take it all the way to Europe. I don't know if I can be bothered with breaking down in the arse end of nowhere. I guess that's part of the fun, but I'm not really sure. However, there will be a classic-based event coming very soon that this car will be instrumental in. I think some of you might be able to guess what that is. But I will say no more on that. I will say no more, but it will be carnage. And this will be doing the trip, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, I'm just about to come off I think this is the A4. I'm going to pull over, I might find Archie, and we're going to talk through exactly what this little sucker is going to cost me, because I'm already 34 grand down, 32 grand down, oh I don't know, one of the two. I've already put that much in, I've just put 700 more in, and there's going to be a hell of a lot more coming, so catch up with you in a sec. Truth be told, I've actually just stopped at Porsche because I was driving past and I realised I need a new key. I mean, look at that, for a key. I've only got one of those and I don't fancy losing it. So I'm going to go in there and say, do you have any spare keys for a 66 912? Let's see what they say. I don't think I'm going to be allowed to film in there, but I'm just going to go in there and troll them basically. Right, so that didn't go well. They basically just told me to get out because I'm not in the parts department. However, I now am. Just across the road. I had no idea, to be honest. I didn't know that was a thing. I just need a key cut basically. Let's go and see what they say. So whilst I've been waiting, there's been a shunt in the car park. Very unfortunate. Righto then, new key purchased. I've got a piece of paper to show for it, but the piece of metal that they can't actually cut in there will be turning up in the next few days. So I've got to go and get the piece of metal, then I've got to go and get it cut at like Timpson's or something like that. Apparently they can cut them at Hatfield. This is all rather boring, I'm very sorry, but if this is classic car ownership, then sign me up. I love admin. Anyway, there's a shunt in the car park. Poor chap's just picked up an M4 CS. Luckily, there's not really any damage to it, so job is a good one. But I've got to say, Porsche West London, that was pretty useless. That was a pretty useless faff, that was. Back in we go then. Oh, let's continue the journey back home. Chaos. Right, that little key then cost me £17.50 for basically, well, you saw it, a tiny piece of metal. And then I'm going to have to go and get that cut as well. So not too bad. A McLaren key, in comparison, cost me £650, £700. And it took them 3-4 weeks to sort out. So I shouldn't moan too much. Anyway, I'm off to find Archie. Then we're going to discuss all things bills. And I'm going to let you know, finally, how much my second load of bills is going to be on this. It's chaos!
So then, I'm now back home, and don't panic, I know when you see me sitting here you think I'm going to try and flog you something. I am not. I'm just going to sit down and do this. I don't know where Archie is. He's apparently busy. You believe that? You believe anything? Okay, so, on here then, I've got what I've just paid £680 for. Oil top up, road test, inspection, sump strainer removal, 2 sump studs removed and replaced, all parts cleaned up, rusted. I'm going to take a photo of this and you can have a look at it. Effectively, there's quite a lot of stuff that's been taken out, new fluid's been put in it basically, and put back together again. They have identified a number of issues though. This was basically a 7 or 8 point kind of essentials that's now been done, 680 quid later. However, there is £6,000 worth of work that also needs doing over the coming months. Revival Cars, the 912 specialist, they're actually fully booked for the next couple of months. So I'm going to be just driving around rather gingerly in the 912. They said it's absolutely fine to drive around as it is, but ideally if you want to get the car back to sort of brand new or anywhere near its original kind of condition, £6,000 worth of work is due. I'm going to, I think, screenshot the email or the kind of the report, and I'm going to put that on the screen now. And you'll see there's about 30 odd jobs on there that need doing. A lot of those words don't mean a huge amount to me. But yeah, I told the guys at Revival Cars to literally just to go around the whole thing and assess it and just be really, really, really picky about every single thing, because this is a car that I've not bought to skimp on. I don't really care putting some money into it. £6 grand on the scheme of things isn't the end of the world. If you think that I spent £4 grand on just servicing my SV, which is basically an oil change and some spark plugs, £6 grand will get basically a load of structural work done, the car completely stripped, and a load of parts replaced. So I don't see that as that bad. Anyway, you've had a look at the list. Hopefully it means something to you. It doesn't mean a huge amount to me. But I trust the guys at Revival Cars. I've had numerous kind of positive recommendations on various forums. And I've also seen them on Google, which is more than enough for me. I have forced them, however, to start Instagram. I had a good word with the chap there, Max. And I said, you're not on Instagram, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I don't know, just we don't really do it. Like, is it good? And I was like, yeah, get yourself on Instagram. So, if you're into all things vintage Porsches, if you're into all things vintage Porsches, head over to their Instagram right now. It'll be a new page, so don't expect millions of followers and millions of pictures, because I have literally just forced them to start it up. And if they haven't set it up by now, then, well, I shall be having stern words. Anyway, I think that is that then. Obviously, goes without saying, it's going to be a long old road with the 912. There's going to be some cosmetic stuff I'm going to do as well. I'm intending on changing the seats very soon. There might be some trim inside. I want your ideas though. I want you sending me inspiration, albeit from 911s, singers, anything like that, colour schemes, interiors, all sorts of stuff. I want you tagging me and stuff like that on Instagram. It's going to be a journey we're all going to go on together. I'm going to document it as much as I can. Hopefully some of you are interested in this sort of thing and you don't just want to see cars driving around night speeds revving at people. This is going to be a whole series on my channel, so like it or not, the car's here to stay, and I'm going to be spending some serious cash and some serious time on this thing. So it's going to be an ongoing project on the channel, and hopefully something new to the kind of the UK scene. I've done this car more for me. If it flies on YouTube and does well, and I can kind of make some cash out of it and get you guys along for the ride, then great. If not, then so be it. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to make some shoddy videos. I also want to point out at this point, Revival are not paying me. I've just taken my car there. I'm paying them market rate. There's no kind of deals going on there. I'm not saying they're good and they're good lads because I'm being paid. I'm not. I wish I was. It made the whole thing a bit cheaper. But yeah, stay tuned on that then. Anyway, for now then, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, blah, blah, blah. And I'll see you all very, very soon. Bye now.